I'm Spencer Owen. Copper 90 fans might know me from the rail, but when I'm not doing that, I spend a lot of my time playing FIFA. Alright mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. But it's not just for fun, it's actually my job. In recent years, the success of the FIFA franchise has spawned a whole industry of people making a living from playing the game, and has become a bona fide cultural phenomenon. It's going in anyway! Yeah! No! No! No!
It's a ball.
Oh, it's in this! The numbers alone are mind-blowing. Every 90 minutes, nearly 500,000 matches of FIFA 15 were played. That game alone has sold over 11 million copies worldwide, and it's estimated that over 160 million games have been sold in the history of the franchise. It all means that this week's release of FIFA 16 is a massive global event.
FIFA is the biggest entertainment property. If you look at it like that, it's bigger than any movie, and it's bigger than any album that comes out every single year.
It's not an imitation of football anymore, it's just part of football. It's as much a part of football as a five-a-side team is, or as, you know, talking about football, watching football in the pub. FIFA is, for many people, the culture of football.
FIFA is a game that people want to be good at and no one wants to lose at.
When you walk to anyone down the street and you say, what's FIFA?
If I think of the game, I don't think of, let's say, the federation.
You know, very few games have outgrown the brand that they were based on.
Like, that's a good thing. If people that aren't necessarily into football, particularly in the States and things like that, can be brought in because this game is so realistic and so good, that's great for the game. It's great for mainstream football, and I think mainstream football understand that now.
It was an instant success, but EA didn't believe in it to begin with. But eventually, when they brought it out, it instantly got to #1 around the world. It was a huge success. It smashed all of their estimations. But then, of course, he had the licenses, and as having the licenses in a sports game is very important, as you know. People want to play as their favourite team, their favourite player.
If you want to play a game, you want to be able to play with Chelsea FC, with all their players with the right kits, instead of playing with London FC or whatever them call them, Pro Evolution, with the players when they haven't got the right names. And it's just little differences like that. It's just really what makes people want to play FIFA.
They introduced licensed music. It was one of the very first games to have actual soundtrack from artists like Blur and Oasis.
That would have been FIFA 98, Road to World Cup. Some people remember that one because it had an indoor stadium. You could play, great Blur song and soundtrack.
I think Kasabian, whenever I hear that song, I'm immediately taken back to FIFA 11. They also wanted to be the game first on every new games console, whether it was the Super Nintendo or the PlayStation or the PlayStation 2. They wanted to make sure that as soon as those machines came out, there was a FIFA game on it.
The people that make the game are certainly aware of the cultural kind of like movement they've created, to the extent that you can take it on your phone with you and you can be playing a mobile version of the game, or you can be trading your players on the app to then, you know, continue to play with when you get home. You can go on websites in the school computer room where you won't be playing FIFA, but you'll be, like you say, you'll be trading players and creating squads that you can use later. It's 24/7.
The statistics system that EA uses for FIFA is even now incorporated into live football coverage on things like Sky Sports.
Your players' stats will change based on how they're performing in real life, and that's a really nice touch.
It feels like you're watching a football game that you're playing. They actually go to the stadiums, record the fans chanting these things, so it really tries to make you feel like you're involved in the game. And the way the cameras are shot before the game starts, the way it zooms around the players.
People like my mum, like when I was younger, would, even back in the day when the graphics weren't as good, would come in and think I was watching football.
The attention to detail is so important. I mean, not only with the way like they pass the ball and the way they shoot, but the keepers as well.
It feels like the Sky Sports experience. That's the amazing thing about FIFA.
You know, like there'll be charts like, oh, the Forbes rich list or whatever for who's the richest in the world or whatever. FIFA's become its own version of that for who's the best at football.
There has been a few stories of football players being unhappy with their statistics in FIFA.
I did a video recently where I actually announced Akinfenwa's ratings to him, where he's the strongest player in the game and always has been. He didn't know if he would be for this game, and he was.
Ah! 98! 98! That weren't really a beastie dance, but you know what it is though.
They all
you
count.
know the elation took me. 98, they give me 98.
Well done,
Thank
mate.
you.
You've smashed it.
It's a big deal for him, you know. That's actually like bringing opportunities to him. You know, there was a lot of other footballers at that event who all love FIFA, play a lot. Nathaniel Klein, Kyle Walker, big, you know, well-known players. And none of them have got an accolade like Akinfenwa. In FIFA terms, you know, more famous than them, which is crazy. It creates careers outside of football for footballers. But in the years gone by, that would have just meant that he was a story told on the terraces. I see that big guy that plays for AFC Wimbledon, nothing more. Because of FIFA and the way people can create content around it, you know, the likes of KSI was the person that first called him out and said, this Akinfenwa guy is huge, have you seen him? Made him world famous almost overnight. The main thing for me that kind of took FIFA to the next level was when the internet got involved and network games became more of a thing.
Competitions and win thousands upon thousands of pounds just playing this game, earning more money than most, lower league football players do playing the sport for real.
And then on FIFA 09, when I started grinding it out, getting really good and coming across these other players who were like the same sort of skill level, and they were telling me like, oh look, you can get to this tournament, you can win that much money, you can do this, you can do that.
From then it all kind of cycled, and that's kind of how I got involved, because these things coincided with the emergence of things like YouTube.
It's created this boom in people playing competitively. Twitch and YouTube and things like that, of people watching people playing games, has made that lucrative.
It's allowed niches to be represented in a way they weren't represented before. So like gaming didn't have a home before the internet came out. It brought everyone together. I've got a link with a football club called Real Oviedo, and they've recently announced me as their virtual manager. So on their website and stuff, they actually welcomed me to the club.
I'm now 22 and I've been able to sustain a really comfortable living like up until this point, and it doesn't just come from the game. Like I've been commentating, doing various videos.
And the way people consume football has changed dramatically, even since I was a kid, let alone since the generations before that.
It makes around $4 billion a year. FIFA last year has now eclipsed Madden, even in the US.
Someone said they think in the next 10 years a professional gamer will win Sports Personality of the Year.
The things that I've done from FIFA are things that I would never have been able to even dream of. I've been to the World Cup in Rio. If someone said to me a year before that happened, you would be going to the World Cup in Brazil just because of FIFA, I would have laughed at them.
Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. I was in Munich Square, and this kid in an Arsenal shirt, I got talking to him, quickly realised he was Serbian, so he wasn't German. He travelled from Serbia to Germany to support an English club, Arsenal, and I was fascinated. I was like, and he's about 12 years old, and he's with his dad. And I said, like, how did you get to support Arsenal, a kid from Serbia? And his dad said the reason he supports Arsenal is because they're alphabetically first on FIFA. Rather than art imitating life, it's life imitating art.
For me, FIFA is a lot more than just a game. You got players like me who consider themselves professional players, and then you got people like Pirlo who will play it before the World Cup final in 2006 just to relax. For me, I've done so many great things around the world. I mean, for YouTubers, it's made them a living. It's just hard to get across to people just how big the game is.
But I make money off making videos, and I love it. Like, whether I do it, I don't know how long I can do it for, how long I can get away with playing FIFA on YouTube, but like right now, I get to make videos about football through games that I love. It's an absolute dream.